Hello, my friend. Welcome to Daily English Podcast. This is Walter, and I want to pause before we begin and truly recognize the gift of your attention. Out of all the things you could be doing right now, you've chosen to be here, listening, learning, and giving yourself this time. That already shows a kind of courage and care for yourself. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever felt your heart beat faster, your chest feel tight, or your thoughts spin so quickly that you couldn't calm them down? Most of us know this feeling. We call it anxiety. Anxiety is not always a bad thing. It is part of being human. Long ago, it helped our ancestors stay alert and safe. Even today, a little bit of anxiety can push us to prepare for a meeting, study for a test, or pay attention when we cross the street. But when anxiety grows too big, it can take over our days, our nights, and our minds. It can make us feel trapped, nervous, or disconnected. That is why it's so important to understand what anxiety really is and how it works. Anxiety shows itself in two main ways, in the body and in the mind. In the body, you might notice your heart racing, your breathing getting shallow, or your stomach feeling upset. In the mind, you might notice constant worry, thoughts that go in circles, or a sense of fear even when nothing dangerous is happening. Sometimes, you may feel both at the same time, which makes it even harder to manage. But here's the good news. Anxiety can be understood, and when you understand something, you can also learn how to guide it, calm it, and even use it in healthy ways. In this episode, we're going to explore how anxiety shows up in your life, what helps to reduce it, and how you can build habits and mindsets that bring more peace into your days. Step by step, we'll talk about how to notice anxiety in your body, how to take care of your thoughts, how to use simple practices like breathing and mindfulness, and how to build supportive connections that give you strength. I want you to remember one important truth from the very beginning. Anxiety does not mean that something is wrong with you. It only means you are human, living in a busy and demanding world. And because you are human, you also have the ability to change, to grow, and to find balance. This journey begins not with fighting anxiety, but with gently understanding it, the same way you would listen to a friend. When you think about anxiety, you might first think about worry, but anxiety also lives in the body. The body has its own way of showing stress. Maybe you've felt your heart beating too quickly, or your palms getting sweaty, or your stomach twisting in knots. These are not random. They are part of what scientists call the fight or flight response. Your body prepares you to run away or to protect yourself, even when there is no real danger. For example, you might feel this before giving a presentation at work or school. You know there is no tiger in the room, but your body reacts as if there is. This is why you may find it hard to breathe deeply, why your muscles feel tense, or why you suddenly feel very tired after the stress is over. The body carries anxiety in many ways. Some people get headaches, others feel restless, and some may even have trouble sleeping. If this happens often, it can feel confusing and frustrating. You may even start worrying about the symptoms themselves, which creates a cycle. But here's something important. Your body is not your enemy. It is simply giving you signals. It's saying, I feel pressure, I need care. When you learn to listen to these signals without fear, you can respond in healthier ways. For example, when your heart races instead of panicking, you can place your hand on your chest, close your eyes, and take a slow breath. You might remind yourself, this is only my body reacting. I am safe. Over time, this kind of gentle response helps your body calm down. Another way to take care of the physical side is through movement. Exercise, stretching, or even a simple walk can release the extra energy that builds up in your muscles. When you move, your body releases chemicals that help you feel calmer and more balanced. Think of it as giving your body a natural reset button. And remember, sleep is also a powerful tool. When you rest well, your body has more strength to face daily stress. Understanding the physical signs of anxiety is the first step to managing them. You don't need to fight against your body. Instead, you can partner with it. Each signal is an invitation to pause, to breathe, and to care for yourself. If the body shows anxiety with racing heartbeats and tense muscles, the mind shows it with racing thoughts and heavy worries. You might find yourself thinking about the same problem again and again, almost like being stuck on a loop. You might imagine the worst possible outcome, even when the chances are very small. For example, if a friend doesn't answer your message, your mind might quickly jump to, "They don't like me anymore." Or if your boss looks serious, you might think, "I'm going to lose my job." These thoughts are powerful because the brain doesn't always know the difference between imagination and reality. So when you imagine something scary, your body reacts as if it is real. This is why anxiety can feel so overwhelming. One way to understand the mental side is to notice how often your thoughts start with, "What if? What if I fail? What if something goes wrong? What if I can't handle it?" These questions may sound useful, but they often trap you in fear. Another mental sign of anxiety is difficulty focusing. You might sit down to read or to work, but your mind keeps running away. You might also feel restless, unable to relax even when you have free time. Some people experience a strong inner critic, a voice in the mind that always says they are not good enough. This can add even more pressure. But here is a truth that can give you strength. Thoughts are not facts. They are just events in the mind, like clouds passing in the sky. You can notice them, but you don't have to believe every single one. One practice is to gently ask yourself, "Is this thought helping me or hurting me?" If it is hurting you, you can choose to let it go, or you can replace it with a kinder, more balanced thought. For example, instead of, "What if I fail?" you might say, "I can prepare, and I will try my best." Reframing thoughts takes practice, but over time, it makes a big difference. The mental side of anxiety is strong, but so is your ability to guide your thoughts. By learning to see thoughts clearly and kindly, you can free yourself from the endless cycle of worry. When anxiety feels heavy, your mind may run to the future or stay stuck in the past. But peace is often found in the present moment. That's why mindfulness and meditation are such helpful tools. Mindfulness means simply paying attention to what is happening right now without judgment. For example, you can notice your breath, the sound of birds outside, or the feeling of your feet touching the ground. It may sound simple, but it has a powerful effect. When you bring your attention back to the present, your body begins to calm down and your mind starts to feel lighter. Meditation is a more focused form of mindfulness. It can be as simple as sitting quietly and noticing each breath. Some people like to use a word or phrase like peace or calm to help keep their focus. Others use guided meditations where a gentle voice leads them step by step. Meditation does not mean you have to empty your mind or stop every thought. It means you notice thoughts without chasing them. You let them come and go, like waves on the shore. At first, you may feel restless or bored, but if you stay with it, even for just 5 minutes a day, you will begin to feel the benefits. Your mind becomes clearer, your body feels more relaxed, and you may even sleep better. Another form of mindfulness is mindful movement, like yoga or Tai Chi. These practices connect breathing with gentle movements, which helps both the body and the mind. You don't need a special place or a long time to practice mindfulness. You can take a mindful breath before starting work. You can notice the taste of your food during lunch. You can pause and listen fully when a friend speaks. These small acts build a habit of presence. And the more present you are, the less power anxiety has over you. Mindfulness is not about controlling the future or fixing everything. It's about creating a calm space in your mind and body, a space where anxiety cannot grow so quickly. With regular practice, you will discover that peace is not far away. It is already here, waiting in the present moment. Managing anxiety is not only about thoughts and meditation, it's also about how you live each day. Your lifestyle can either increase stress or help reduce it. Think about food, movement, rest, and daily routines. For example, when you eat too much sugar or drink too much caffeine, your body can feel shaky and restless, which makes anxiety worse. But when you eat balanced meals with fruits, vegetables, and enough water, your body feels more stable. Exercise is another key part of a healthy lifestyle. You don't need to run for hours. Even a 20-minute walk outside can lower stress and clear your mind. Moving your body regularly gives you more energy and helps release tension that builds up. Sleep is also deeply connected to anxiety. If you don't sleep enough, your mind becomes more sensitive to stress. You might notice you get irritated more quickly or worry more easily. Creating a bedtime routine, turning off screens before sleep, and keeping a regular schedule can make a big difference. Social media is another modern factor that can raise anxiety. When you spend too much time comparing your life to others online, you may feel not good enough. You may also absorb negative news that increases stress. Limiting screen time and choosing uplifting content can protect your mental space. Another lifestyle habit that helps is spending time in nature. Being outside, feeling the sun, hearing the wind, or looking at trees has a calming effect. It reminds you that life is bigger than your worries. Simple routines also give structure to your day. When you know what to expect, your mind feels safer and calmer. A healthy lifestyle is not about being perfect. It's about making small, consistent choices that support your well-being. When you take care of your body and daily habits, you build a strong foundation that makes it easier to manage anxiety. Think of it as giving your mind and body the best chance to feel balanced. Each choice you make, even a small one, is a step toward peace. Anxiety often makes people feel alone, but connection is one of the strongest ways to heal. Talking to a trusted friend, a family member, or even a support group can ease the weight you carry. When you share your feelings, you realize you are not the only one. Many people experience anxiety, and knowing this can bring comfort. Sometimes, just saying out loud, "I feel nervous today," can take away some of the power of that feeling. Human connection has a calming effect on the brain. When you feel heard and understood, your body naturally relaxes. This is why supportive relationships are so important. They remind you that you belong, that you matter, and that you are not fighting alone. If anxiety feels too heavy, professional help is also a strong choice. Talking with a counselor or therapist gives you tools and guidance for your specific situation. It is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of wisdom and self-care. Another form of support comes from community. This could be a class, a group, or even a local activity where you feel connected to others. Being part of something bigger than yourself helps balance your inner world. Pets can also bring comfort. Caring for an animal, feeling their presence, and sharing quiet moments together can lower stress and give you a sense of companionship. Asking for help is not easy, but it is powerful. Remember, no one is meant to handle everything alone. Support creates strength. The more you open up, the more space anxiety loses in your life. Connection is not just about talking. It is about feeling safe with others, sharing silence, laughter, or even a simple meal. These moments remind you of what really matters. When you build connections and accept support, you create a strong shield against the storm of anxiety. One reason anxiety grows is because people are often too hard on themselves. You might feel guilty for feeling anxious. You might tell yourself, I should be stronger, I shouldn't feel this way. But this only adds another layer of pressure. What you need instead is self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness means letting go of the idea that you must be perfect. It means accepting that you are human and humans have limits, fears, and struggles. When you forgive yourself for being anxious, you create space to heal. Imagine talking to a friend who feels nervous. You wouldn't tell them, you're weak. You would say, it's okay, I'm here with you. You can learn to talk to yourself in the same gentle way. This is what we call self-compassion. Self-compassion is not about ignoring problems. It's about meeting them with kindness instead of judgment. For example, if you make a mistake at work and anxiety rises, instead of saying, I'm terrible, you can say, I made a mistake, but I can learn and try again. This shift may feel small, but it changes the whole experience. Anxiety becomes lighter when you stop fighting yourself. Another way to practice self-forgiveness is to notice the critical voice in your head and gently challenge it. Ask yourself, would I say this to someone I love? If not, then why say it to yourself? Replacing harsh words with gentle ones builds resilience. Remember that progress takes time. Some days you will feel calm, other days you may feel anxious again. This is normal. Forgive yourself for the ups and downs. Healing is not a straight line. By treating yourself with patience and kindness, you create a safe inner space where anxiety has less control. Forgiveness opens the door to growth. Anxiety may never disappear completely, but that does not mean it must control your life. It is possible to live with anxiety and still create a peaceful, meaningful existence. The key is not to wait for a perfect day without fear, but to learn how to walk with anxiety in a gentle way. Imagine it as carrying a small bag. At first, the bag feels heavy, but when you build strength, you realize you can still move forward, still enjoy the scenery, still live your life. Managing anxiety is not about eliminating it, but about reducing its influence and growing your own power. All the practices we've explored, understanding your body, guiding your thoughts, using mindfulness, building healthy habits, connecting with others, and practicing self-kindness, come together to form a toolkit. You may not use all of them at once, but you can choose what helps you in each moment. Over time, these choices create lasting change. Anxiety loses its sharp edge. You begin to trust yourself more. You discover that peace is not found by running away from fear, but by learning to meet it calmly. Remember, anxiety is a part of life, but it is not the whole of life. You are more than your worries. You are capable of joy, growth, and resilience. Every small act of self-care, every breath of mindfulness, every moment of connection adds up. So as we close this time together, I want to remind you of this truth. You are not broken, you are human, and being human means you can grow, heal, and live with courage. Peace is possible, not someday far away, but step by step, starting today.